the Broncos' greatest comebacks that you've witnessed in person.
Yeah, and
now, you have an advantage on me on this.
Yeah, because
you've been covering because you've been covering them a lot longer, and you've gone to a lot more road games than me.
And you're going first.
I am.
I'm going to tweak mine in mid talk.
So these are the games I've seen where the Broncos.
You're going to have to say the year because there's
I am. I will. So number 6 for me is Broncos versus the Houston Oilers in 1992. Houston or the Broncos in the last minute of play went 80 yards to win the game. John Elway was a quarterback. Number 5, Broncos and the Jets in the 98 AFC Championship game. Jets were winning 10-0 as late as the mid third quarter.
But it was like 24-10.
The Broncos scored
38.
the next 23 points to win 23-10 on a cold wind. You remember how cold and windy that day was? It's an ugly day. Number 4, greatest Bronco comeback, Peyton Manning coming back from 4 neck surgeries in the year 2012. Threw you a little curveball there. Number 3, the Broncos and the Bears game. Here, Marion Barber, thank you very much. Fumbles in the fourth quarter. The Broncos scored to tie it, and then, ran out of bounds to give the Broncos time to tie it.
Who was the Broncos quarterback then?
Tim Tebow was.
Thank you.
And then Marion Barber in the overtime fumbles. And the Broncos kick a field goal. Matt Prater with 2 50-plus yard field goals. It was the defense and Matt Prater and Marion Barber that won the game, not Tim Tebow.
Who led those drives?
Not Tim Tebow. Number 2, Super Bowl versus Green Bay. Obviously, you're probably wondering why that's not number 1 for me. Because number 1 for me, my personal favorite, I remember it so vividly. I was standing in the south end zone at the old Mile High Stadium. It was also 92. The Broncos were down 19-6 to the Kansas City Chiefs, and in the last 2 minutes, Elway threw a touchdown pass to Mark Jackson and a touchdown pass to Vance Johnson, and they win 20-19. And that might be Elway's, outside of the Super Bowl, that might be Elway's favorite play, favorite comeback as well. He talked to me about that a few weeks ago.
Can you imagine that he's going to leave out the most famous comeback of all time?
I wasn't there.
Oh,
these are games. Okay. This was your question. It was games you witnessed in person.
Okay, all right. Well,
Zappolo was there. I was manning the anchor desk at Channel 4.
At Dallas, I thought that was an incredible comeback. Remember the game? Year 2 years ago when the Broncos ended up beating
51-50 or something.
Whatever. That was a great comeback. I just
51-49,
my favorite.
actually.
I was there. Yeah. Number 5, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was in the playoffs.
2011.
It was. Yeah. Pittsburgh, Tebow led them in overtime to.
Wait, I looked at that game. That was not a comeback game. The Broncos were leading just about the whole game.
Pittsburgh came back and tied the game. That's why it's in overtime. So that was a comeback.
I thought it was a Broncos comeback because I would have included that.
They did. Pittsburgh came back and tied up the game. So the Broncos came back and won the game.
Okay, loose definition. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
You were
Go next. Go ahead. I'm giving it to you. Go ahead.
4 last night. I mean, do you know? Here's a question for all of you. It's like the Tulowitzki question. When was the last time a team who won scored 2 touchdowns in the last half minute of a game? Who was the quarterback in that game on the losing side? I'm giving you hints.
Peyton Manning.
Keep thinking. You're in the right direction.
Colts.
Archie Manning.
Oh.
The last time a team scored 2 touchdowns in the last 36 seconds or whatever was when Archie Manning was the quarterback of New Orleans in '67.
Okay.
How's that for memory? Number 3, at Pittsburgh in 1997. Yeah. Kansas City and Pittsburgh. I was actually putting them together. They came back in Pittsburgh and won. Yeah. They came back in Kansas City.
You're doing it again because I looked at that game too. They weren't losing at the near the end of that game.
But they tied?
They tied, yeah.
Yeah, well, again.
Okay.
It's my definition.
I'm giving it to you.
Your definition, you had Peyton Manning in there. Number 2 is the drive.
I wasn't there.
I know, but I was. It's a drive, guys. And number 1 is the Super Bowl because that they did come back from a deficit against Green Bay, and Green Bay had the ball at last. So,
all right.
But I'm leaving out, I think the Miami game, Tebow's first start, that was an incredible comeback.
You know what? I gave Tebow a game. That's all. I'm not giving him more than one game.
But that was
Done.
incredible.
I'm
There
done
were
with
like
Tebow.
4. Minnesota, there were like 5. Everybody talks about Manning comebacks and John Elway comebacks. Tebow had like 8 comebacks that year.
I'm going to go get Madden 16 so I can play Tebow at running back. That's what I want to do. That's the show.